Willmar provides a vehicle for these young people to literally understand that death doesn't single them out. And I think that death can be a very isolating grief and death. You can feel like somebody's done this to you.
The healing process doesn't just happen at one time, but it's a constant process that needs support all the time.
A child has a tremendous capacity to create their own story about a death, whether it's their fault, whether it's because they did something last Christmas. Whatever a child's mind creates to justify a death.
These children are special, they're grieving, and it's a very, very needed part of our community is to help these grieving children so that they can grow up and move on in their life and know how to cope.
I believe that any time children are given the benefit of the truth instead of a story, that it creates a perspective that they carry forward. That you're not an island. You are sharing an experience in this life with others, and it's a tremendous perspective for those kids to have going forward.
Willmar has difficulties fundraising because it involves grief and bereavement, and it's difficult to get people to contribute to something like that as compared to all the other wonderful charities that we have in Sonoma that are much more cheerful.
I think it's important for everyone to note too that Willmar is supported only by community efforts. You know, there's no other funding. It's just heartfelt to see how this community rallies around something that's so important.
Any organization that takes on the mission to help children deal with a tragedy or a crisis, it should be a community concern. It's an organization that speaks to something that every single member of the community has in common. And Willmar absolutely exists to promote compassion and empathy. The community doesn't really exist without those things.
Every day's a good day when I'm close to you.
What a wonderful thing to have an organization that increases consciousness, because there's so few in the world. And if the human race would get just a little bit more conscious, we could say that we've made progress.